Okay, what we're doing now, this session, this is primarily for learning how to undertake a daily practice for oneself, and with respect to the growing, cultivating, and the growth of our mind, broadly speaking, a long-term plan with a long-term roadmap to what we are seeking towards fearlessness and infinite happiness. And meanwhile, of course, there is the benefit, immediate benefit as well, that the discipline, that the sense of calmness, stability, and the confidence, they all continue to grow with these practices. And so just see if it is, yes, of course, sometimes things may not turn out to be like expected. Expecting that some sudden change can happen. I don't expect that, but these are something which are extremely beneficial for one's growth. Okay. And with this mind, setting proper motivation makes the whole difference. Again, setting proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts. One, refuge field, visualize all the enlightenment, all the enlightened beings, who succeeded in awakening their Buddha nature. Now they become full-fledged Buddhas. And imagine that if somebody is a Buddha, like the way in the manner in which your Buddha nature manifests, how you would see others. This is exactly how the enlightened beings, they see you as so loving, see you with so much love, affection, and embrace. This is how we need to visualize them. So this reinforces our sense of refuge in somebody being a role model with respect to cultivating the wisdom to see everything as like a dream, including self, and with respect to the unconditional love towards all the beings. And for the Bodhisattva field, what you have to do, your job is to be inspired to become enlightened out of incredibly great compassion to your two parents, all of them non-single children, and all their mother sentient beings. And this purpose of this practice is to awaken this Buddha nature within us, hidden treasure within us. How? By applying the remedies to remove the mental defilements, so the Buddha nature inside, within, manifests in its purest form, in the form of fearlessness, infinite happiness, in simple terms, perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. And if you attain that, that is what everybody is seeking. And imagine that you are leading this practice, and all beings are joining us. Let us turn to page 3 of the book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhisattvas, page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go 2 times or 3 times? Only 2 times. And teach by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Dai Chanjo Bado Dane Gyazo Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjere Sanje Dubarai Jo Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Dai Chanjo Bado Dane Gyazo Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjere Sanje Dubarai Jo Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Noi Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyabzo Je Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjere Sanje Dubarai Jo. And the next verse is extremely important. And this is the verse from Arya Nagarjuna's text, Mul Madhyama Karika, Fundamental Wisdom of the Middle Way. And this contains the whole essence of the wisdom to know everything is a dream. And perhaps in the class, we need to explain this, and somebody should remind me to explain this first. This is extremely important. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme of all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. Okay, the next verse I'll explain it. First we'll read this and see if you understand something, and then I'll explain this. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, which through the knowledge of past causes those having migrated to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue and expound the varieties of teachings. Okay. What did you understand out of this? Anyone? You got something? Okay. Let me explain this. What is the Buddha's teachings? Last time we talked about the one verse where the Buddha summarized all his teachings, where it says, commit no evils, accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible, tame your mind. This is a teaching of the Buddha. So now from there, we see that Buddha did not say anything about physical gestures or singing songs and so forth. He talks only about mental qualities. Commit no evils is a mental quality. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible, mental quality. Tame your mind is a mental quality. So here, to go more into technical side, we see that those beings who look for a permanent solution, there are three kinds. Those of you who attended the evening class, you heard that. Those beings who look for a permanent solution to their life challenges, there are three kinds. First, let's classify them into two. Those who seek personal liberation. Okay, the life is extremely scary, and the next birth, what kind of birth we take, we don't know. And in this life also, the main part of life, the form we will have to spend our last days. So we all came here independently, but you know that there are many people in their last days of life, they are bedridden. 24 hours, 24/7, and bedridden. Yes, these things happen. And we never know. You, I, who will not be bedridden the years, sometimes years and years, acutely painful. I know one the gentleman, like I think about like last 15 years in the bed, 24/7 in the bed. So we never know these things. So now the thing is that this is very scary. So how to make sure that these things don't repeat in the future? These things can be stopped altogether. These are the wise people. What a, don't think about too much about the future. Think about now. Be in the present moment. This is what many people say. This is a wrong understanding of the being in the present moment. Say, you can be in the present moment. Present moment has many connotations. It doesn't mean that don't think, don't plan. This is extremely unwise. In fact, the Buddha taught us how to plan for the future to make sure that our miseries stop altogether. That we have to plan. So, what does it mean by be in the present moment? Be in the present moment has many connotations. Whatever you are meditating, be in the present moment with respect to that object. For example, I'm thinking about, say we're meditating on the mind when I become a Buddha. You're getting it? When you become a Buddha, that mind, there's a future mind. Be in the present moment with respect to that mind. Be in the present moment, be in the present with respect to that mind. Don't go to and fro. This may not be in the present moment. It doesn't mean that just be in the present moment, forget the past, and don't think about the future. Don't plan. This is a disaster. So otherwise, why did the Buddha teach we are in suffering state? This is truth of suffering. This is truth of cause of suffering. There's a past. This is truth of cessation suffering. That is a future. You have not yet attained Buddhahood. So Buddhahood has to be attained. Future. This is what the Buddha taught. So this is a great misunderstanding. Some people, it looks so exotic. Be in the present moment. Forget about the past, it's gone. Forget about the future, is yet to come. What we have is just the present moment. Be in the present moment. This is a disaster. In a way, you are encouraged not to plan for the future. So, these are the meanings. So, with this in mind, we really need to understand the Dharma in its full form. You're getting it? Complete, correct information, complete information, and systematic information. This is what we need to remember. So, look at this verse. It says, that those people who seek they say the permanent solution to all the problems. One is those who seek personal liberation, those who are very scared and they don't want to think of too many things. They don't want to think of others. Okay, as long as I'm free from the fire of the samsara, it's good enough. So these are known as personal liberation seekers. Personal liberation seekers, there are two kinds. One is known as Shravakas and one is known as Pradika Buddhas. There are two kinds. So they differ primarily in terms of intelligence. Pradika Buddhas, they are more intelligent in comparison with the Shravakas, and the enlightenment the Pradika Buddhas attain is way more subtler in comparison with those to be attained by the Shravakas. So these two put together in one camp. And the next is the Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas who aspire to awaken one's Buddha nature completely for the benefit of all sentient beings. So not only confined to yourself, but wanting to work for the benefit of all sentient beings. And yet in the process of struggling, in the process of working to attain Buddhahood, this is Bodhisattvas. Then third category, somebody who already attained that state of the Buddhahood, where the full awakening happened. So there are three categories. One, those who seek personal liberations. Number two, those who seek full enlightenment for the benefit of sentient beings, yet on the path. struggling or in the process. And the third, those who already attained full awakening, the Buddhas. So, three. Now, when these three beings are there, and these three beings, they have their three goals. Personal liberation seekers, they seek, what's the goal? Personal liberation. And the Bodhisattvas, what is the goal? Goal is to benefit all kinds of beings, to show them the direction, to show them the paths, to help them. And the Buddhas to guide, to give the guidance in its fullest form, that is technically referred to as turning the wheel of Dharma. The Buddhas, their goal is to turn the wheel of Dharma. So, these three beings are there, and the three goals are there, and then there are three mothers. It says prostrate to the mothers. So three mothers meaning the three mental qualities. Just as a mother gives birth to us, and then we got this human birth. Likewise, these three beings, they have these qualities. They give birth to the three desired goals. So what are the three qualities? So look, the Buddha's teachings is all about mental qualities. The first one, for the personal liberation seekers, the mother referred to here is the what is known as the knower of the basis. Knower of the basis, and at times also known as the knower of all. Geshe. Knower of all, the first, Geshe. Second, for the Bodhisattvas, the knower of the paths. Knower of the path. Because the Bodhisattvas, they want to help the sentient beings by showing them the paths, different paths. So knower of the paths. And for the Buddhas, the omniscient mind. So these three are referred to as the knower of the basis, or knower of the all, knower of the paths, and knower of the omniscient mind, omniscience. These three are known as the three mothers. So just as a mother give birth to us, likewise these three mental qualities, they serve like a mother by giving birth to the three desired goals for the three beings. You getting it? So three beings, the three goals, and the three mothers. Okay, tell me. What are the three beings? And then the things will fall in place. Three beings: personal liberation seekers, Bodhisattvas, and Buddhas. Three beings. And what are three goals? Personal liberation seekers, the goal that they seek is personal liberation. Bodhisattvas, their goal is to benefit the beings. Buddhas, their goal is to turn the wheel of Dharma. To turn the wheel of Dharma. And for the personal liberation seekers, what is the mother that helps them to attain the goal? Knower of the basis or knower of all. And you may wonder, knower of all means omniscience. Okay, here knower of all has a different connotation. Not all phenomena. All here refers to all the Four Noble Truths. Not necessarily all phenomena, but the all here refers to all the Four Noble Truths. And if you make the Four Noble Truths more detailed, this is what is known as 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths. 16 aspects. And we have to enumerate. And then if you want to know what the 16 are, you can just check this book, The Blaze. You will at the end, there's a beautiful, glossary, and endnotes are there. This will be very helpful. Okay, not now. And now for the Bodhisattvas, what is the mother? Metaphorical mother for the Bodhisattvas? The knower of the paths. To give them the result of benefiting the beings. And for the Buddha, what is the mother? Omniscient mind. Omniscient mind is the mother which helps the Buddha to turn the wheel of Dharma. Good. Okay, now if you look at this, we see that now the verse will become very clear. I prostrate to the mothers, the three mothers, not just mothers. Of whom? The hearers. Hearers meaning, Nyentu, in Tibetan is Nyentu. personal liberation seekers. Personal liberation seekers is grouped into two. Is divided into two. One is Shravakas. Shravakas in Tibetan is Nyentu. In English is translated as hearers. Hearers here referring to Shravakas. So Shravakas explicitly taught and the Pratik Buddhas implicitly indicated. Why Shravakas is more explicitly taught is because that around the Buddha we see the Shravakas. We don't see the Pratik Buddhas. Pratik Buddhas, they prefer to stay on their own. They don't want to come into groups or around the Buddhas. So they receive teachings from the Buddha and they all go on their own. Whereas Shravakas are usually around the Buddhas. So the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, the three beings, wish through the knowledge of all. So we already edited the translation. Wish through the knowledge of all. The knowledge of all, this is the mother for the personal liberation seekers. Knowledge of all, lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace. So, hearers, meaning personal liberation seekers, to help them to attain the goal. What is the goal? Complete peace, which is personal liberation or nirvana. Then wish through the knowledge of paths. For the Bodhisattvas, knowledge of the paths causes those helping migrators. Who are those causing the helping migrators? Bodhisattvas. To achieve the aims of the world, to help the world. And finally, through the possession of which, so here, the omniscience is implicitly indicated through the possession of omniscience. Subduers referring to the Buddhas. Subduers, why the Buddhas refer to subduers? Because they subdue all the mental defilements, afflictive and cognitive. Subduers expound a varieties of teachings to turn the will of dharma. Okay, let's say this once more. And this is in fact where this verse came from. Where? This verse is the verse of salutation found in the text composed by Arya Maitreya, the future Buddha. Arya Maitreya, in his text, Abhisamaya Alankara. Abhisamaya Alankara, in English, the ornament of clear realization. In Tibetan, Ngondokgen. And in the monastic universities, this is not a big text, a short text, extremely condensed text. It's studied for minimum 7 years in the monastic universities. This short text. And it has a lot of commentaries. It's so condensed. Believe it or not, just one word, Duptang. Just one word, and then the commentary is huge because the meanings contained in it is so profound, so deep, so vast. It just expressed in one word. It's studied for a few months. Not a word, but the meanings that it carries is studied for a few months. Okay, so we'll say this once more to see if the meanings can be reflected. And so here, there's so much reference given to the mothers. What are the mothers? It's a metaphorical mothers, the mental qualities. So, in a way, what is being encouraged here is that we need to cultivate the mental qualities for your own well-being. Okay. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who is transformed into a reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector to you among prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and has endowed with the divine Bodhisattvas in the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays to you, the Buddha, among prostrations. Okay, we are on page 5. We're on page 5, the last verse. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. So here, in this line, we see that the two wings of the bird, Say, inspired by wisdom and compassion, the wing of the wisdom and the wing of compassion. Today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening, meaning that generate the mind of full awakening to awaken the Buddha nature within me for the benefit of all sentient beings. Each verse is extremely precious. Okay, next. Sorry? Okay, this is a good question. In fact, this is what I was supposed to be explaining yesterday. So I'll explain it here also and in the main class also. And this is the good question. This is related to Buddha's biography. And these two lines is actually composed by one Indian great master, Acharya Dignaga, in 6th century AD. And here, this is the word of salutation of the text which she composed, the text known as Pramana Samuchaya. And the story behind this is extremely important. Okay, cut short the story. The reliable guide here refers to the Buddha. So this is sharing the biography of the Buddha. If you could remember the biography of the Buddha which I shared with the class last time, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide. It's not that you are a reliable guide, saying that once upon a time you were a little boy, Prince Siddhartha, and gradually you transformed to become a reliable, transformed, which means that, oh, so he was once upon a time an ordinary prince, ordinary person, ordinary boy, ordinary man, ordinary person, and becomes a reliable guide towards the end. Which means we are also ordinary. We can also become a reliable guide. Yes, you can. So this is where is inspiration. Not only that he is a reliable guide, we also can become ordinary. We the ordinary beings can also become reliable guides. The one who is transformed in the reliable guide. And how did he transform into reliable guide? Next question. Motivated by altruism, the first step. Motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. Second, the teacher. Third, Sugata. Fourth, protector. Guide meaning protect you from the miseries and guide you to the state of the liberation. So, say as the biography of Buddha goes, that seeing all the problems in his kingdom, in his palace, where the royal family members, they abuse the commoners. And in the kingdom, where poverty, sickness, aging, all these things he was seeing. And on the entire piece of land, subcontinent of India, where the wars are happening amongst the kingdom. So many problems. So what can be the solution to this? So he thought that by becoming the next king, what can he do? Look at my father, he's already king. He could not do anything. So I have to do something to save the world. So what he did, he left the world. He left the palace, motivated by compassion, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. First one, motivation. Then what did he do? He went in search of the teacher. Second is the teacher. He went in search of the teacher, meaning teacher from whom he learns something. What he learns to be taught to the beings, so the beings will be liberated. So that's a teacher. So what he learned from the teacher, he has to first experiment it on himself to see if it works. So he experimented on himself with the meditation on the wisdom. And finally he realized that the iceberg on which all the miseries are stacked, that iceberg of ignorance melts. Then all what is stacked on this miseries collapsed. And he sends what is known as Sugata, the one who has gone to the ultimate bliss of the purity. He attained that through his experimentation. So with this confidence, taking this confidence with him, then he went to protect the beings. That made him the protector. So that is anybody who can protect the beings from the miseries to the ultimate happiness through his own experience, that is a reliable guide. So this is meaning. Thank you. Okay, we'll recite this together once more. the one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector to your mere prostrations, the one who has eliminated the web conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine Bodhisattvas in the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of sentient beings. Okay, since we already know the meaning of the mantra, this essence of dependent origin mantra, we'll contemplate the meaning. This is so important, so that what happens is that since a childhood, some people have some degrees of compassion. Some people have some degrees of intelligence. Some children have a sense of resilience, the power of the resilience, and the patience. Some children, amazing. Some, they're totally impatient. Okay, Sizinla, how was your daughter when she was little? Patient, not patient? Very patient since childhood. So these are the qualities of your mind which you brought from your past life. You're getting it? And some people, since childhood, having blind faith. Some children, they're very stubborn, no blind faith. Right? So unless rationally explained, child is not happy. So these are all the traits that we carry from our past lives. So the trait that we have to learn this life, one trait which is so important is, for example, let's say for the nations, the basic principle of the nation which is built on the basic principle of cause and effect, who understands cause and effect so well, these nations will flourish and thrive. For example, the West. Why the West materialists grown so fast? It's because, as materially speaking, they know the cause and effect so well. Because, for example, there's a COVID, they will not do the puja. You getting it? They will invent vaccine. So this cause and effect. So the Buddha taught it, that things, for example, the COVID is not because of not doing puja, it's because of the bacteria, the virus which came from Wuhan, the virus. Because it's a virus, we have to look for the vaccines to get rid of this virus. So the vaccine, you have to invent it. So therefore, whereas in some countries or some people, they keep doing the puja around with the COVID. So may my COVID go away, puja, and people die. And some people, they look to invent the vaccines. So they're protected. And of course, there are many controversies around it. So there's a different story. A person will say that the vaccines really protected the world. Otherwise, so many people would have died. Just 10, 20 times of what already died would have been gone by now. So, the thing is that this mantra should make us become confident, sensible, that the result that I'm seeking should come from the cause. It's appropriate cause, concomitant cause, which is concomitant to the result. The cause with the potential to give rise to a particular result. And don't look for the cause which has nothing to do with the result and embrace the expecting the result to come. This is totally senseless. So this Dharma, the essence of the origin mantra, we recited. Don't expect some miracles. The real miracle is that you understand that the happiness comes from virtues, miseries comes from negativities. Knowing this, stay away from negativities and embrace the virtues as much as possible. If this happens, this is the real miracle. This is a real miracle. In the olden times, not only in Tibet, in many places, they talk about, iron bird flying in the air. You heard of this? Yeah, iron bird flying in the air. Now in the West, they actually create iron bird, aeroplanes. You're getting it? We don't have to imagine. It's already created. It's already made. But in the West, the Tibetans, I cannot speak for the others, But for the Tibetans, there's, oh, Guru Rinpoche, around that time, Iron Bird was created. What Iron Bird? No, no. His Holiness so practical. His Holiness said that we have been doing puja when Chinese were invading Tibet. To stop the Chinese, we did puja. It failed. His Holiness said. His Holiness the Dhamma said it. Puja cannot protect us from the invasion of Tibet. His Holiness said it. So look, this is the practicality of His Holiness's mind. So what made him this confidence? Ye Dharma, essence of this mantra. Recite this mantra to make yourself become a very practical person. A realistic and practical person. Always looking for the correct cause. Miseries, identify the correct cause and discard it. Happiness, identify the correct cause and embrace it. This, if you become like this, you become a very practical person. These people will actually shine and become enlightened. Okay, let's say this together. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramana yesvaham. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramana yesvaham. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramana yesvaham. Meaning of the Yumba mantra: all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-lighted, and non-composite. Such is natural dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to words. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I bear obeisance. The four seals of Buddha's teachings: all composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness or selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is also everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to a samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, the completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, Nur of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you paced our seven strides, then set him supreme in the world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the three worlds, one of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold to you I prostrate, just free like you, the three worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the filler married with qualities like a vast ocean. To you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly, this is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the ways of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, page 29, Heart Sutra. Okay, remember, yesterday we discussed the Heart Sutra, and 3 points not amiss. The first is, you remember, what is the question asked by Shariputra to Aravalokiteshvara? Number 2, what is the response given by Aravalokiteshvara to Shariputra? Number 3, what is the benefit if we practice as taught by Aravalokiteshvara in response to the question by Shariputra? Okay, let's not forget these 3. And also identify, say, the Aravalokiteshvara went into great detail, speaking about the dreamlike nature, emptiness nature of the self, your 5 aggregates, the 4 noble truths, the 12 things of dependent origination, the 12 sources, 18 elements, went into great detail one by one, try to identify what are these objects whose emptiness, the emptiness of which Aravalokiteshvara taught. We have identified these and tried to relate to our real life. Okay. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus he at one time, the Buddha was dwelling on the mass of vultures mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness of form. Form is not other than emptiness, and the same way, emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object to touch, and no phenomenon. There's no I element and so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There's no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance and so on up to and including no aging in death and no extinction of aging in death. Similarly, there's no suffering, origination, cessation path. There's no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, sincere and not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Teya tha om gade gade para samgade bodhi soha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravarukuteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice a profound perfection of wisdom, just as you've indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravarukuteshvara, those are surrounded in the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. Let's recite this mantra 7 times together. Teyatam Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata 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 Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvatyata. By the teachings of three supreme jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from the problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, let us turn to page 35, 8 verses for training the mind. page 35. The Heart Sutra is for the wisdom. It's symbolic that we have to cultivate the two wings. One is wisdom, which is the indicated by Heart Sutra, and now the 8 verses for mind training. This is to to inform us that we need to build the wing of the compassion. So 8 verses for train the mind is primarily to build the compassion about the bodhicitta, and the as your compassion increases, and this where your joy multiplies. The secret of the joy is finally joy, and happiness finally is the compassion. The more you expand your compassion, the more joyous you become. And to cultivate this compassion is not that easy. It requires the two things to be done. One is to get away from the non-conducive factors or discordant factors, and on the other hand, we have to create the conducive factors. So we'll do and the discordant factors for the compassion is okay. What kills the compassion? Anyone? What weakens the compassion? What kills the compassion? Anyone? Huh? Hatred, yes. And then, in the family of hatred, anger, aversion, they all kill our compassion. And also ego. So when the ego arises, is there the flavor of compassion? No. In fact, that was, I don't know what, I must be age 12, 11 or 12 years old, and during my days in the school, there's a tremendous, reverence, respect given to the teachers in the school. And one day I was so, in a way, confused and also amazed to see that there was a little boy who must be age 6 or 7. And there was one teacher, and this little boy was sitting with his arm resting on the teacher's shoulder. Little boy, age 5 or 6. He resting his arm on teacher. And the teacher also very relaxed. No issue, no problem. And it's very normal, it's very casual setting. And myself as a age 11 or 12, confused. No. Look at the teacher. Teacher is also not egoistic. There's no ego that there's a student and treating the teacher disrespectful. No, he doesn't have ego. That amazes me. And the student so confident resting his arm on the teacher's shoulder. Wow, I was amazed. Particularly the teacher's quality of no ego. So ego, anger, they kill our compassion. With the ego and anger, if we have these for a long time, continuous for a long time, it'll shorten a life. It'll shorten a life. In fact, there was one gentleman, there's so much anger, and we are very close friends. And I will always give some indication, tell him that just calm down your anger, temper, just control your temper. Your life is very precious. In a way, what I was telling is that if you keep on doing this, your life will be shortened. This is what I was saying. But if I say this, it can be extremely offensive. So I was saying that your life is very precious. Please take care of your health. It can damage your health. And what I've finally had to go through open heart surgery. Then coming home after the surgery, he told me that, Geshe, I remember your words to take care of my health, calm down my temper. You said it. Then when I went into the operation theater, your words rang so vibrantly in my ears. And then when he was going through the process, he was okay, calm, anger, temper under control. Again he recovered, again same temper. And then he passed away. He passed away. Okay, so this is so important. Anger and the ego, these only destroy our health, destroy our immunity. So what's the point? So this is something to be tamed and identify here. The author, Geshe, a great Bodhisattva. So he identified what are the causes of the ego, what are the causes of the miseries, what are the causes of the anger. He identified these factors and encouraged us how to stay away from these factors so that you may not succumb to the anger and the ego. And meanwhile, cultivate the conducive factors, loving kindness. Then your compassion will really increase. Okay, let's say this together. 8 verses for training the mind by Geshe Langri Tangpa. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as aloof amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. So this is to quell our ego. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those who are oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear for their rare to find, as if I've discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself their defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped, on whom I have placed great hopes, mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast space that have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Next, the 7 in practice. Our 7th practice is primarily, we need to know the reason of doing this, is primarily to gather the materials required for our journey to enlightenment. For example, you came from your respective places to Buddhapata. Coming to Buddhapata, how many you came without bags? Or how many came with bags? Why the bags? Because it contains something. What are the things? Things required in the journey, things required while you are in Buddhapata. You have brought these. So we need to carry items with us to sustain ourselves effectively. Likewise, to go to the journey of enlightenment, we need to gather materials. So what are the materials? Wisdom and the merit. And the wisdom and merit particularly subsumed a little more detailed into what is known as the 7 kinds of practice. So these practices will help us to energize, give us a fuel to continue the journey, give us the energy to continue the journey. Okay. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you who are with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of respect, deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualize this real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddha's numberless as particles, each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With the infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sagathas. Beautiful flowers and regular garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense are offered to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wonders offerings in spectacular array offered to victorious ones. With transcendental offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done, with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training, and those beyond on of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stage of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha's stay and teach, are now dedicated all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, mantle offering. A mantle offering is where you say the please all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Mandala means the essence. And you are offering the essence of everything good that the whole universe contains to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. And why we offer this, it's we see that those with enthusiasm, they could persevere in their path, difficult path. So this perseverance and the enthusiasm, these are the qualities that we can learn. And the more you associate yourself with, associate with them, good source, you acquire these qualities. For example, I remember one of my teachers, a brilliant philosopher, logician, and he was appointed as the teacher to the reincarnation of His Holiness's senior tutor. And his attendant, my teacher's attendant was my teacher's own nephew. And my nephew, he was academically not too smart. But we get chance to get teachings from my teacher, maximum 3 hours in 1 week. 3 hours meaning 1 day, 1 hour, 1 day, and which means 3 days maximum. And many of the students, they get only twice, which is only 2 hours in a week. And my class, I get 3 because of the attendant. He's so kind to me. When all the different classes they come, he will say, get them there. And then he would, give me the special access, and my class will get the chance. So what I'm saying is that sometimes this attendant will come to my place, and that although he's academically he's not too smart, he's very young and not too smart academically. But the good thing about him is that he's always with his uncle. And the old must say, one day the uncle must be given like 7 teachings, 7 hours of teachings, 8 hours of teachings. And he was always there. For him, 8 into 6. 8 into 6 is what? 48. He's receiving 1 week 48 hours, and we're getting only 3 hours. So because of that, sometimes when he comes to my place, I would ask him, okay, you have to tell me something about emptiness. And he thinks that I'm joking, because he's not academically smart. And then he said, no, again, you are joking, you're making fun of me, I'm a dull person. I said, no, you are getting 48 hours of teachings. We don't get this opportunity. Now you are the one so meritorious. You have to share with us. We don't get this chance. You have to share with us. And he was looking at me to see how serious I am. And I pretended, so I'm very serious. Then they say, he said, no, 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 you're joking. You're making fun of me. You're pulling my legs. I said, no, no, you are very focused. Right from morning till evening, you are listening to the teachings from our teacher. You have to share with us. Don't be selfish. Then he will start sharing. If you are somebody who does not know him, if you are somebody who does not know my teacher, and you listen to how he explains, you think that he's a brilliant philosopher. Because what he says, he's actually mimicking my teacher. And how he mimicked, of course, my discipline is so clear and very profound. He would mimic all these things. Wow, I'm so impressed. Amazing. So this is where, when you are close with somebody who is at the treasure trove, you will acquire these qualities without any intention. You will acquire these qualities. So often the mandala, meaning that you associate yourself, making yourself close to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So automatically you acquire these qualities. Okay, with this mind, and the we see that we have the Mr. Sauna there, and also we have Carl Tinsherbla and Joshua here, and also our IT Ravana there, and Ajala there, Ajay Sinzila and Yangjala. So they know how to do this hand gesture. This hand gesture is not compulsory, but if you want to do this, you want to learn it, you can learn it during the break time. And Jabin, you know how to, you don't know. Okay. So, Yangjala, you know? Yes. So, Yangjala, Sezana, and Turisahola, and the others, two of you, you can teach others. Okay. Don't, but this is not compulsory, but this is gesture of the whole universe. The central one, the center one. Okay. I Sinzela, you can teach Jabin, and we Yangjana teach the so. Okay. Now or later? Later. Okay. So others you learn from. Okay. So center one is supposed to Mount Meru, and the four are supposed to be the four continents, and you are often the whole universe to all Bodhisattvas. Okay. This ground adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is the Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Now I'll chant this in Tibetan, and those who know how to chant it join me, and those who don't know, listen to us and join us. O Sashi Ge Joje Mendo Tam Rerable Shengen Sangye Shendu Mete Buvayen Dogu Namda Shena Jumarai Sho. The fourth Dhammas, Venerable Kampapa, may be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May be blessed that my Dharma practice is also the proper path. May be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Okay, the next four points are extremely important points that when we engage to give a meaning to a life, if you are doing on a daily basis, if you are doing that, these four things, or what are you trying to cultivate, then you are doing justice to your life. That your life becomes truly, truly meaningful in a complete form. So with this mind, you try to identify what each of these 4 points are. The first is renunciation, renouncing your miseries. Second one is bodhicitta, to extract to get the maximum benefit, infinite benefit out of universal compassion. Third one is the wisdom, to see everything like dream. And the fourth one is the awakening the hidden treasure very quickly to expedite the process. That is the number 4. Okay. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience with the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Ratna Mendelagam Nirateyami. Okay, the next, the foundation of all good qualities, the next page. So this is the roadmap to enlightenment. This roadmap, it just has 14 verses. But this roadmap, complete roadmap to enlightenment. And if you can recite this on a daily basis and try to contemplate the meanings, your mind is actually in the process of going along the path to enlightenment. This beautiful, complete, amazing, profound roadmap to enlightenment by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the present freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them so toward all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I fall into the sea of samsara, so fall among the migratory beings. Please bless me to say this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of common body and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice their long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths, may equality in the state of Vajradhara. Okay, well, next we'll recite this maximum mantra. First the English, then the Tibetan. And this, for information, I'll share with you a little bit about how this maximum mantra came into being. This was composed by a great Tibetan master, 14th century Tibetan master, Lama Tsongkhapa, 14th century. And actually he composed this for his teacher. His teacher, Jesu Rendawa Shunulutu. It was 14th century AD. And what happened was that he equated his teacher with the three perfect qualities of the Buddhas. Perfect love, symbolized by Aravalokiteshvara. Perfect wisdom, symbolized by Arya Manjushri. Perfect power, symbolized by Arya Vajrapani. So these are the embodiments of the Buddha's qualities. Arya Avalokiteshvara, symbolizing the perfect compassion. Arya Manjushri. Avalokiteshvara you see on the depiction of the Bodhisattva for here. The Avalokiteshvara has many manifestations. This is one with the 1,000 arms and 1,000 eyes. There's also the four-armed Avalokiteshvara, sometimes two. There are different versions. And in China, it is the female version. So that is the embodiment of the perfect love and the perfect wisdom. Usually, Arvind holding a sword. Sword is the wisdom, symbol of wisdom. And Vajrapani holding a Vajra in his hand. So the author of this composition, Lama Tsongkhapa, he composed this praise to his own teacher, equating his teacher to these three enlightened bodhisattvas. And the teacher read. Teacher read it, and teacher erased his own name. The original version of this says, Mingme sewe tijin jere se, teme kembo ongbo jame, tuho mara jumla sawenda, kanje kebe tsuge, rendawa, shunulu tu shabla chansalo. This is the original version which the author composed. And the teacher erased his own name and replaced it with his student's name, the author's name. Then it was changed to Mingme sewe tijin jere se, teme kembo jame, tuho mara jumla, kanje kebe tsuge tsongaba. Early version is kanje kebe tsuge rendawa, the teacher's name. So teacher erased that and put his student's name. So in my monastery, the same verse is read twice. The first one with his teacher's name, second one with the Lama Tsongkhapa's name. So we'll say this when we sing this. We just to accommodate the melody, we skip the third line, and there's no reason. And when you recite it without the melody, you can recite it full, all the 5 lines. Okay, we'll say this together 3 times. Kama Lord Tabe Sham La Sovanem or we see this in English. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure, non-referential of compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages and land who snows, Losantaba at your feet, I make prostrations. Okay, the actual practice. Thus far is the preparation or preliminaries to prepare us into the journey, and what should we be actually doing. So here comes the next, generating the mind of consummate yoga. So this has 4 parts. First, shamatha meditation. Next, renunciation. Number 3, bodhicitta. Number 4, wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so now is the meditation part. Ready? Okay, I don't think anybody is new to meditation. Okay, how many of you, I guess most of you are. So, how many of you are not exposed to meditation? Raise hands. No idea about meditation. First time doing meditation. Okay, we all are doing first time? No. Okay, we all have done some form of meditation. So what you do is that here, to make it very quick, the body should be upright. It shouldn't be bent like this. Body upright. This is so important because later on you'll discover that the moment the body is like this, instantly your mind should be meditating. Your mind, the degree of the rigor of the mind will drop instantly. You feel that. Like this versus like this, instantly the rigor will drop. 1. And also, don't lean against the support. Don't lean against the support. You can sit on chair, you can sit on whatever, but make sure that your body is upright and not leaning against the support. If you have a backache problem, you're exempted. Knee problem, exempted. You have the support. Take the help of support. But if you don't have any health issues, then sit the body upright. Okay. Then the next thing will be so important is eyes not closed. Meditation, there are 2 kinds of meditation. Single-pointed meditation and analytical meditation. For the analytical meditation, meaning the way you have to actively analyze. So that meditation, for that, later on, if you feel that by closing eyes is better, you can do that. But for the single point meditation, make sure that your eyes are open. Because with the eyes closed and single pointed, just focus your mind on one thing. Okay, where is the likelihood for you to fall asleep when you're driving? When a straight line or curve? A straight line. Why? Because your mind doesn't have to focus much, right? And it's straight, and then you fall asleep. So therefore, the thing is that when you don't have to analyze, the mind tends to become inactive, and then it can easily fall into sleep. You're getting it? So therefore, with single point meditation, make sure that, oh, by the way, when you drive, how many straight line sometimes you fall asleep driving? Anyone? It happened? Okay. So others are feeling shy? It happened? Jabin, it happened? Never. You don't drive. When you drive, is straight and tendency to fall asleep? Once in a while. Okay. So what I'm saying is that this is very important, particularly single point meditation, eyes not closed. You're getting it? And more precisely, meditating on your own mind. Single point is very on your own mind. If eyes are closed, finish. You can easily slide into the what is known as laxity. Mental laxity is very dangerous. You're getting it? Okay. So these are two main things. So all the details I'll skip. And then what you should meditate. Okay, let's. If you have some other meditation, single point of meditation, you do that. And otherwise, if you don't have any specific object, think of a tiny white dot between nose and upper lip here. And then multitasking. While you focus mind on the tiny white dot between nose and upper lip, you also count the breath. Breath in, breath out. Cycle 1, breath in, breath out. Cycle 2. This is how we're going to do for the 5 minutes. When you are on your own, do it just for 21 cycles. When you are with other people, you can do it for 5 minutes. It's fine. 5 minutes for the young ones will be like 60 cycles. For elders like my age, can be like 70, 80, 90. As you grow older, your immunity, your health, and your body mechanism slows down, and it's interesting. It slows down, but the breath becomes quicker. So younger ones, the breath can be, say more, say time-wise is lengthy, and as you grow older, breath is faster. So for the elders, 5 minutes can be like 70, 80, 90 cycles. For the younger ones, will be like 60 cycles. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. And the most important thing, number three and number four. Number three, identifying the errors of meditation, what mistakes we can make in the meditation. Number four, when the mistakes happen, remedies to be applied. Applying the remedies to overcome the errors. So errors twofold. Mental laxity, your mind becomes heavy, sinking, lethargic, and the other was opposite, which is mind becomes overly active, the overactivity of the mind. If any of these two problems happen, one is laxity and the other one is excitement. If any of these two things happen, apply the remedies. And remedies twofold: introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is to keep an eye on your own mind to see if your mind is meditating, is already distracted, or the sleeping. So this is the introspection, job of the introspection, to check the mind. Whereas the job of the mindfulness is what the introspection finds, that your mind is scattered here and there. Then the mindfulness is to bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, today I'm quickly explain to you what we are doing here. The actual practice, it has four components. First is the was shamatha meditation, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. Four. Why these four as a main practice? What we learned thus far, the how many classes with how many days we already done? Uh, okay, today is third day. What we have learned thus far is finally we have to cultivate the wisdom to dispel the darkness of ignorance, the wisdom. And on this wisdom, so they finally this wisdom to know the reality. This is what we refer to as the only liberating path. That is what is to be meditated upon. One. And this wisdom, for example, let's say that if there's a huge the poisonous tree, we have to cut it. To cut it, we need the axe, and there's a very sharp axe, which is like the wisdom, and the poisonous tree, which is like the mental defilements, afflictive obscurations, cognitive obscurations. So you keep the X, sharp X there, and it'll cut or will not cut. Lady, what's your name? Sudiptaji. Okay. Sudiptaji, tell me, if there's poisonous tree there, and the X, very sharp X is lying there, ultimately the tree will be cut, or what will happen? What is required? Yes, somebody has to pick this up. Somebody has to pick this up, and just imagine, and hit it two times, and the tree is very hard, very strong, right? Oh no, I'll do it tomorrow. If this is the intention, then nothing will work. You're getting it? So wisdom is very important, but very strong-willed the intention required. So with that strong-willed, they say attaining Buddhahood is not that easy. Cutting this very strong tree, big, poisonous tree is not easy, but you require that willpower. Willpower is very important. How many of you have sensed that in our life, without willpower, you cannot succeed in life? Resents. Yes, willpower is extremely important. And the greatest of the willpower that you can possibly imagine is the bodhicitta. I will become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So number two is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, to feel this gravity, I will become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, first you have to know why you want to benefit. Because the beings are suffering. To know the suffering, you have to first experience the suffering yourself. If you don't experience the suffering yourself, you cannot empathize. You agree? So for that, to know your suffering so well, you require the renunciation. Number three. Now, you have the tool, which is wisdom emptiness, and the willpower, bodhicitta, supported by renunciation. Three. And finally, it is a wisdom. And this wisdom is, we just imagine that you are in dark and you want to read the books. You want to read the book, and say in the middle of the night suddenly there's a power cut. So what do? You bring a light to dispel the darkness. So light symbolizes the wisdom. And this light should have two qualities. Just see how many you agree with me that this light should have two qualities. One is that this light should be extremely bright. If it's not bright, it will strain your eyes. You agree? So light should be very bright, number one. Number two, from the corner of the house, if there's wind blowing, the light will be very flickery. Again, it stains your eyes. So, light should be extremely bright and it should be very steady. You agree? So likewise, the wisdom, it should have two qualities. The wisdom should be extremely sharp, very bright, extremely sharp. There's the wisdom of emptiness. Extremely steady and stable. That's a shamatha. You getting it? So we require wisdom as the main. That like the sharp eggs, it should be picked up by the very strong willed man, with strong willpower, bodhicitta, and this bodhicitta must rest on renunciation, and this wisdom must be supported, must be very stable, shamatha meditation. These are four things we require. And if in a life you design any practice, whatever tradition you follow is fine, as long as you have these four things. As long as you have these four things, wherever you go is fine, so that you continue to extract the greatest of the meaning from your life. Okay, four things. Okay, so what we've done thus far is this building the wisdom, the steadiness. Steadiness with shamatha is done. So next, the renunciation part, we do that based on the four seals, practice four seals which the Buddha taught. And the bodhicitta will do the bodhicitta. Actually, there are two methods. What are the two methods to generate bodhicitta? Anyone? Then Shirvla? Sevenfold cause effect method to generate, and the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others. There are two methods. You getting it? So usually in group, I don't do these two methods because that these two methods will take time, and also that we need to know what the steps are. We have to learn these first. And if you do this, when you do in your own room, in your own place, on your own, you could do this practice, these two methods. But in group, usually I do the four immeasurables, and then supported with the bodhicitta. So wisdom we do separately. Then and the shamatha four. So after doing these four, then we take the aspirational bodhisattva vow. So this will then make a practice very, very complete. Okay, so so for today we'll just do the taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow, not necessarily going through all the other procedures. We will quickly turn to page 50. Okay, ready? Page 50. Okay, as we recite these verses, let us visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddha's Bodhisattvas, and you are surrounded by your two parents, and all family members, including children, and all Dhamma sentient beings living in the society, including tiny insects, tiny ants, the mosquitoes, the cows, the dogs, human beings, spirits, God and goddesses, everyone with you. And imagine that you are taking this aspiration bodhisattva vow on behalf of these beings, and you also include them, also encourage them to join you in this to awaken the hidden treasure within us. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, I'm going to explain this, and if you don't know the meaning, then the benefit is much less. Say, what we're doing is my journey is the journey to awaken the hidden treasure within me. So for that matter, say that this is something which I never did thus far. Since time immemorial till today, I never did it to awaken this hidden treasure. If I did it, if I succeed in doing that, then today I should not be suffering. I should experience fearlessness. My happiness should have been infinite. But this is not the case, which means that I never undertook this journey. And this journey is the most important journey in the world. For example, people travel. For what? So that they'll get a little bit of holiday time. What's holiday? So that they'll feel mental relaxation. It's very temporary. Again you go back, again the mental stress will come. It's all temporary. But the real journey is the journey whereby you attain the relaxation, complete relaxation, where the stress will never revisit us. Your happiness to infinity, where you will never be deprived of happiness. This is the greatest, the most important journey. Because this is a very important journey, we require the greatest of the support. Okay, how many of you, in order to come to the Buddha Patha, you inquired somebody, ask somebody, what is Buddha Patha like, how to go there? How many checked it with hands? Or you sought the help of Google? Sense. Somehow we did it. We sought the help of somebody. You're getting it? Which means you're looking for a guide, a reliable guide. We're looking for a guide. So, the best of the guide, best of the support is the True Gem. The first line says, I go for refuge in the True Gem. One. Now, the road, journey involves the road. If the road is blocked by the fallen trees and boulder and so forth, your journey cannot be undertaken. So what do you do? The road must be cleared of the fallen trees, boulders and so forth. So the road is none. Road of enlightenment is none other than your own mind. Your mind must be cleared of the fallen trees and the boulders and so forth, like the mental defilements, negativities. So second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Now the road is very clear, but if the car doesn't fuel, then what will happen, Angela? If the car doesn't fuel, the road is very clear. If the car doesn't fuel, can you go? You cannot go. So the car is none other than your own mind. Your mind should have enough fuel of the merit. And how to accumulate enormous amount of merit is, it says, rejoice in the virtues of others, not be jealous. Instead of being jealous, rejoice in the virtues of others. That will help us to accumulate enormous of merit. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now, you have the great support, the road is clear, and your car is enough fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? The fourth line says, I hold precious Buddhahood in my heart. Journey of awakening the hidden treasure within me. Okay. And the next two verses I'll explain later. So first we recite this 3 times together. And wholeheartedly recite this. Imagine all Bodhisattvas are there with us. And your 2 parents and all your children, all the family members, all sentient beings with you. I go for refuge to the True Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the True Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the True Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The next 2 verses. In the history of the humanity, you check if somebody succeeded in this journey. Yes. Browsing through the history, we see that 2,500 years ago, there was a Prince Siddhartha, and he followed this journey. And how did he succeed in his journey? So initially you invoke your gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to pay heed to you. And then the verse says, just as the previous Buddhas like Buddha Shakyamuni, how they succeed in this journey is that they succeed in journey by introducing 2 factors. The first factor is they generate very strong the bodhicitta. I will become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. The strong aspiration, the bodhicitta. The second factor is to materialize this aspiration of the bodhicitta, they engage in the Bodhisattva practices. Second one is, and this is how he succeeded to become the reliable guide, to lead all beings to enlightenment. Oh, if this is how he succeeded, I'll also, if this is how he transformed, then I'll also be put effort to transform to become a reliable guide. How? By introducing the two factors. One factor is generating a very strong bodhicitta. I'll also become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. Number two, to materialize this aspiration, you engage in the Bodhisattva practices. Like what? 6 perfections, 10 perfections, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, perseverance, arduous effort, meditative concentration, and a wisdom. 6 plus 4. The 4, skillfulness, aspirational prayers, power, primordial wisdom. Very good. So we practice in these 10, 6 plus 4, 10. So this is how one can possibly become enlightened. So now we can see the broader picture of a life, how the life can be so meaningful. So with this mind, let's recite the following 2 verses together. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspiration of Bodhisattva vow. Okay, next, page 51. The practice of bodhicitta that we come across in this life, in order to make this practice, that you meet with this practice in the future lives also, we include a very powerful prayer. Next is the verse for us to be connected with these 2 teachings of the bodhicitta in the next slides. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true practices of bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who has lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has been borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereign death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the treasure that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and of the world to be guests, at a festival, temporary and ultimate delights, may gods, demigods all be joyful. Okay, from tomorrow we will do the complete practice. Today, the explanations took time, so okay, we'll do now dedication dedication part. I dedicated merit thus gathered towards the realization that deeds in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the sheet waiting Buddha for all those whose minds with minds blind of ignorance. Deotavam gati gati paragati parasamgate bodhisvatyata om gati gati paragate parasamgate bodhisvatyata om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. 3 persuasions together.